Hey guys, this is Shannon with Nearly Organic Noshing, and it is Saturday morning, and I have almost the whole weekend to myself. Like, just me being home. You have no idea how much this thrills me. I never get the house to myself. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, why would you want to be home alone? I love to be home alone. I really, really, really do. I can do what I want, when I want, and not feel guilty about any of it. If I want to take a nap, I'll take a nap. I probably won't be doing much nap taking. I have a lot of things on my list, but I can and not feel guilty. Does anybody else do that? Do they feel guilty if their partner or their children or something are out working and you're home just not doing anything? I do. Maybe it's the Catholic in me coming out, but that's just the way it is. So Chris is at our off-grid property this weekend, and he is doing some work there. Macy just had surgery on her knee a week ago, so she couldn't handle all the bumping and jarring to get back to camp, because it's a pretty long drive to get back to camp, and that would just be way too much on her knee. She's supposed to be taking it easy for like 3 months, and she's not even had her 2-week checkup yet for the incision. So I said, I'm going to stay home with her. Trevelyan's at college, and I saw her a couple days ago. She came to raid the freezer and take a bunch of stuff back to school with her. And Jaden is working doubles today, and he's working most of tomorrow, and I'm not sure about Monday. So I'm going to have the house, and I am thrilled. So I'm on my way right now to town. I stayed up till like 2 a.m. last night getting a bunch of cleaning done, and then I finished it up this morning. So all I have left is 2 loads of laundry and a little bit of sweeping and mopping, which I do every single day. Sorry for all the bumps. But that's a daily thing. That's just what happens when you have dogs and your backyard is dirt and you end up having a ton of sweeping to do. But I am going to work in my garden today because I'm in Florida and the weather is really nutty this weekend, even by Florida standards. Today is a high of 80. Tomorrow is a low of 27. So we're going to have a freeze tomorrow night. Or actually, it may freeze tonight. I'll have to look and double check if it's going to freeze tonight. I think it's supposed to go in the 40s tonight, but I'll have to look. I have to cover up my pineapples out in my garden. I need to go ahead and pick any peppers that I have left and try and cover up anything else that has decided it has wanted to survive my complete and total neglect of the past like 4 or 5 months. Come summer, I just pretty much threw my hands up and said, I give when it comes to the garden, because I just didn't have the time. We were getting rain every single day. The weeds were out of control. I could not keep up with them. They were choking everything out. The fire ants were crazy because of all the rain, and I just said, I give up. I'm done. I'm not even trying to do the garden. So I just have let it go. And I am going to be working on that today, just doing a cleanup. It is a massive eyesore, and I'm tired of it. So I'm going to just devote today, because today is supposed to be the warmest day. Not that we've had much in the way of cold weather here in Florida, but it's supposed to be really breezy and warm today. So I'm going to work on mowing the garden. I got half of it mowed last night after work. I think I went out there about, 6, and I mowed until I couldn't see anymore. So I got that. I just need to do a lot of pickup, a lot of trash disposal, wrap up hoses. I have a feeling I'm going to be sitting here for a while. It looks like a funeral procession. So I'm going to be working on that today, and then tonight I'll catch up all the laundry. Tomorrow is supposed to be progressively colder with like 40-mile-an-hour winds. So I have a pantry project I want to work on coming up, and I may do the painting for that tomorrow. We'll just see. If it's not raining during the day and just windy, then I can do that. I can just paint and work on my pantry project on Sunday. I'm trying to figure out what we're doing here. Are we going? Okay, we're going. So that is my goal for the weekend. And then Chris decided to close the office for Monday, which is Martin Luther King. We don't normally close on Monday, but he wanted an extra day of working on projects at camp. So he said, let's just close the office, give everybody a break, give everybody a long weekend, which is great for me because come Monday morning, I'll wash sheets. I'll have the whole house clean whenever he walks in the door. Hopefully I'll have my garden cleaned up, and I will have sorry, cops are telling me one thing, the lights are saying something else, and I don't think they knew what they were. People weren't talking together there. So, yeah, so I'm hoping to get a ton of stuff done this weekend, and am really excited that I have the weekend that I can do what I want to do if things go according to plan. If no one gets sick, if something doesn't happen with my dad's Parkinson's and I get a call from my mom, or a kid breaks down, or some unforeseen circumstance, I will have the weekend to myself to get things done, and that makes me so happy. So I am running errands right now. My Walmart order is almost ready to be picked up. I have a couple of other places I just have to stop real fast so that I do not have to go out again this weekend. At least that is my goal. I mean, I'll go to Mass in the morning, but other than that, I won't have to go out this weekend. So, all right, I'm in a parking lot. I'm gonna go grab what I need and hit my Walmart order and get home and get started on my day. Okay, I'm at my Walmart pickup. Ran most of my errands. Tiny little wrench thrown into my day. I have to make a couple of unexpected stops. That's okay. I'll get it done and still make it home. I think I'm going to try and wash my car today also and get it cleaned out. I'm just going to try and knock a bunch of stuff out. So I'm sitting here waiting on my order. Hopefully they will be any minute, and then I can hit my last 2 stops and be home by, hopefully by 2. That's my game plan, but it looks like they're coming. Okay, so if you can see behind me, that is a guy that I buy tomatoes from all the time. And I stopped and I was just gonna get a couple of tomatoes, and he said to me, hey, do you want to buy a couple cases? And I was like, I didn't plan on buying cases of tomatoes today, but he has a bunch that are cold damaged. There's nothing wrong with the tomatoes. They just have some marks on them. He's gonna sell them to me for $5 a case. I cannot pass that up. I did not plan on doing tomatoes this weekend, but it looks like I'm gonna be canning tomatoes this weekend. So I am heading home and putting my groceries away. He's almost out of bags to bag up people's merchandise. I drop him by bags all the time, and I think that's one of the reasons why he calls me and gives me such great deals, because I stop and I talk to him. He's a real nice guy. He drives to South Florida and sometimes to Georgia to pick up produce, and I always stop and buy from him. He always has really good merchandise. So I am pretty thrilled that I'm going to get probably 3 cases. He thinks he has about 3 cases because people look at them and they see marks on them and they're like, no, we're not buying them. There's marks on them. I don't care. I don't care if there's marks on them as long as they taste good and they're not covered in tons of pesticide. I'm okay with it. So maybe I'll have to see if I can find my tomato preserve recipe. That's a 2-day process. I really want to make some of that though. And if there's any Roma tomatoes in this group, I'll be making tomato preserve. And then everything else will probably be just canned chunky tomatoes. I'm not even going to make tomato sauce because I don't have time to make tomato sauce. But this makes me very happy. I'm kind of glad I have, you know, a weekend. So I am heading home and I'll go back and get my tomatoes. Okay guys, it is 3 o'clock. My day is so far gone. But I'm on my way back up to go meet the tomato guy and go see how many cases of tomatoes he has for me. He was going to pick through them, and then I have to go to my parents' house, and then I will get to go back home. So, yeah, it's probably going to be close to 4 o'clock before I make it home. But that's just the way it is, but I have 2 more days. I have 2 more days to get things done, and I have tonight. So, we'll see what we can get done. Okay guys, I am back home. He ended up having 2 cases of tomatoes for me. And let me show you these guys. Would you buy them and eat them? Would you pick them off your vine and eat them? Yep, some of them have a couple of bruises, but like this one, there is nothing wrong with it. You know, some of these have bruises, some of these are like this, and people will not buy them from him if they are like this. Sorry, my hands are super dirty. I was cleaning my car. So I spent $10 for 2 cases of tomatoes. So I'm debating, am I going to can tomatoes this weekend, or am I going to freeze all of them and can them at a later date? I'm not sure. For now, I'm just going to get them inside and make a decision by tonight as to what I'm going to do, because they'll start spoiling. Either I have to freeze them or can them in the next day or so. So this is an awesome deal, and I'm sure I will just manage to work it into my weekend. So all those plans I had today pretty much didn't happen. It is, it's after 5. Jaden won't be home until after 10 tonight. He's working a double. So, I'm tired. I haven't made it to the garden yet. My house is relatively clean. I have another little laundry going. I have one in the washer, one in the dryer. I think I'm going to take a nap. I think I'm going to set my alarm for like 45 minutes. I think I'm going to take a nap. And then I'll go out and work in the garden until dark. That is my game plan, because I am so tired right now. I could push through and go out and just do it, but there's no one home. And I can enjoy the quiet of the house and take a nap. Alright, that is what I'm going to do. Okay guys, it is about, 6:15 or so, and I'm just going to get a little more work done out here. I have the mower out and I have it, 2/3 mowed. I still need to go around and finish picking up hoses and metal and anything else that I can run over with the mower, and see how much more mowing I can get before dark. Hey guys, it is Sunday, about 12:30. I just got in from Mass a few minutes ago, and we had our high of the day at like 9 a.m. this morning. When I was taking the dogs out, I was like, oh, this isn't bad at all. And I walked out of church and I was like, I might want a jacket. So as the day progresses, it is going to get colder. It is super windy. As you can see, my hair is like all over the place. I just walked in from checking on the chickens, and there's supposed to be like 40-mile-an-hour winds today. I mean, that's not horrible, but it's super windy compared to what we've been having. So I've been kind of reevaluating my plans for the weekend. I ended up getting all those tomatoes, and ideally I'd like to do them outside, but I just don't know how the gas burners would work with the wind gusting the way that it is. So I may do some of them inside. I've been really wanting to make some tomato preserve. I haven't done it in a couple of years, and I was like wide awake last night at 2 a.m. and I found the recipe again. So I have my tomato preserve recipe, and the thing is, I need ginger. I need raw ginger, and I have ginger growing on the front porch. And if I have enough of a root that I can dig up, I'm going to go check in just a minute, and then I can do that. If not, I'll have to go to the store. I really don't want to go to the store. If I'd have been thinking about it, I'd have stopped on my way home from church. But that is something I would like to do today, and I'd like to do, I think, a double batch of it, because I'd like to give it away as Christmas gifts next year. So I can put it up now and just set it to the side, and it'll be perfectly fine until Christmas time. So that is one thing I would like to do today. And the tomato preserve is a 2-day process. So you start it on one day, and then it has to sit for 12 to 18 hours, and then you finish it up the following day. So it's not something you can do all in one day. So I did need 2 days back to back that I didn't have anything major going that I would be able to work on it. So that is one thing, but having some ginger is the first thing. So I'm going to go check that, because you can't put candied ginger or powdered ginger in there. It just wouldn't work right. So I'm going to go check that. Late this afternoon, I need to cover up my pineapples. I need to go pick my peppers off my front porch. And it's supposed to be 32 tonight. It's not supposed to be like a hard freeze. It's just supposed to be 32 and really windy. So I may just pull my basil and things off the rail and put it up close to the house, and just so that it's not going to be exposed to the wind and on the edges of the porch. And then I may go do a little bit of gardening, and I'm trying to decide if I want to attack my pantry. So, because that's a big project. It's a lot of stuff, and I have to paint. And it is so windy today that I don't know if I can paint today, because it is just incredibly windy. I don't want the paint to be drifting in the breeze and get on vehicles or anything else. So that's something else I'm looking at with scattered showers today. So I'm kind of just trying to reevaluate my day right now, what I wanted to get accomplished. The house is empty. I have an empty house. This makes me so happy right now. But I'm going to go get out of my church clothes. I'm going to go get on some grubby stuff so I can start working around here and getting things done. You can see how hard at work Muggsy is. Macy is in there with her little blue flotation device around her neck. Instead of the cone of shame, we have an inflatable blue collar on her. But Muggs is just lazing the day away. Huh, Muggsy? Muggsy. Hey, buddy. Oh, no, off the couch. Oh, and there's Macy needing all kinds of attention. All right, I'm going to go check my ginger first before I get changed, because if I have to run to town, I should probably go in clean clothes that aren't covered in stains from the garden. So I thought while I was out here coming to check my ginger, I would just kind of show you what my front porch looks like. It's super messy. We got so much rain and wind last night that it just kind of blew stuff everywhere. So I'll probably take a few minutes. I just have scraps that I've replanted growing back here, like celery, onions. These green onions are so long. I really need to do something with those. Actually, I had some tomatoes that when I cut into them, they'd already started sprouting, so I just shoved them in a pot out here, and those have all sprouted. Same with peppers. So I need to go ahead and probably pick those, even though they're super tiny. This is my ginger plant right here, so I'm going to dig down in there and see if I can get a chunk. I only need one about, I don't know, the top portion of my thumb. I just need a nice chunk. And my basil has been growing since last spring. It's starting to flower and bolt now, so I may need to clip the ends of that off if I want it to keep flowering. So this is what I have right here. I'm not too concerned about it freezing hard, but a few of the more delicate ones I might move off and put a little closer to the house and just throw a sheet over, because things are pretty green still right now. I still have all my poinsettias out here. But I'm going to check and see if I have some ginger growing in that pot right there. My turmeric is not looking good. It was doing so well up until the last 2-3 weeks. So I'm thinking I need to move it somewhere else because it is dying. So I'm going to check my ginger, pick my peppers, and head inside. Okay, so I went ahead and pulled the flowers off my basil so it would stop bolting. Grabbed a couple of peppers and some chunks of ginger. So this is what I needed. I think I kind of killed one of the plants, but digging around down in there, it snapped. But oh well, it was just some ginger that I had started rooting from a piece I had in the fridge. So that is more than enough for what I need. Actually, it's about right. I needed about a thumb-sized chunk. So I'll put this other little piece in the fridge if I want to do something later with it. But I'll get these cleaned up and be able to work on that tomato preserve today. Okay guys, it is 2:40. I've just been doing stuff in the house. And one of the things I did is I started a pot of chili. It's chilly outside right now, so I thought this would be something that would be really good to eat. I just used turkey that I had in the freezer. So this is a turkey chili, and I was debating on putting more meat in it, but I think I'm just going to leave it the way it is right now. And all of the beans and stuff are ones that I had canned. I've got my whole sink full of empty jars right now and all of my dishes that need to be put away, but I'm not doing that right now. So I've just seasoned this up with my own seasoning. I didn't use a chili packet or anything like that. I didn't have any of that. So more often than not, nothing ever tastes exactly the same around here because I just randomly season things. So I want this a little thicker. So I'm just turning it down to low, and I'll put the lid on and just put the lid off the edge so it lets a little bit of the steam out. But this is at a rolling boil right now. It needs to cool off a little bit before I head outside. I don't want to leave it boiling like this when I'm not in the house. Normally I'd use my crock pot, but I didn't mind heating up the kitchen a little bit because I don't have the heat on in the house, and it's like 40 outside right now. So it might be 45. But I don't want to turn the heat on until I have to tonight, just to kind of keep the electric down. I'm the only one here, so I don't see the point in running the heat. So I have this going, and Jaden and I will enjoy this for dinner tonight. I'll probably make him like a grilled cheese or something to go with it. So I'm going to finish doing just a little bit more cleanup in the house, and then I'm heading out to the garden for a couple of hours. Hey guys, so it is 2:42 in the morning. This is the stuff I do when I'm home alone. This is the last of the tomatoes that I had. I just finished coring this, and boiling them. I just have a few more in the pot, and this is a simple way to make tomato sauce if you don't want it chunky. I decided just to do it like this so that I could separate all the skins, and this is all going to go into the dehydrator. So that's all the cores and bad spots that are going to go out to the chickens tomorrow. So that'll go out. I have my tomato preserves sitting on the back porch cooling. So tomorrow I will rewarm all this, which this is how much I have. This is one of the biggest stock pots. I'm not sure what size, but when you get the 3 nesting stock pots, this is the biggest one. So once I finish the last of these tomatoes, which you can see this is about half full, and I probably have 4 more batches to run through here. It'll fill that big stock pot up to the top. So I may keep it in 2 of them just so that it'll warm more evenly, but I'll put lids on them, put it outside. Let's see, it's almost 3 in the morning. It should be almost freezing outside right now. So 3 a.m. I think was supposed to be where it hit 32 degrees here in Florida. So, but on the porch and closer to the house, it won't be that cold. So I'll just put lids on it, set it outside, and let it cool off overnight. And tomorrow, when I'm ready to can, I'll go ahead and get my jars ready and get my canner ready. And then I will warm the tomato sauce back up, which will steam off a little bit of the water that's in it, make it a little bit thicker, and then I'll just jar it up. So I probably have another 15-20 more minutes in here right now, and I somehow managed to wedge this down and get it under the lip. So I'm just working my way through it right now. I'm just going to finish it up and then try and get something to pry it out, because I was trying to get it to pry out and it's just not working. So it may be a 2-man job to get it pried apart. I've done it before and I've usually been able to just pop it right back, but tonight I cannot get it to pop back. It's wedged in there pretty good. So I'm just going to finish this, and I'm probably going to let the peels just drip overnight. I'll put something just over the top of it, a plate with a stone or something on it, and let it push down. All the liquid is leaking into this. So any of the liquid that's in here tomorrow, I will add back into my tomato sauce. And then all the peels should be pressed out pretty good so they can go into the dehydrator without being super wet. Okay, so my colander is full almost to the top of tomato peels. And I just have a container sitting on top of it with a plate, pressing it out, and any juice will go into my pots of tomato sauce in the morning. So this one's probably 2/3 full, and this one's a little over half full. I don't want them to boil over when I start warming them up tomorrow, so I'm just going to leave them in 2 different pots, put lids on them, and set them outside for now. It is a few minutes after 3. I'm going to finish doing just a little bit of cleanup on the kitchen. I'm not going to go nuts because I'm just going to be right back in here tomorrow morning making a mess. So I'm just going to go ahead and wipe everything down really well so nothing is sticky, and carry this stuff outside for now and walk the dogs one more time before I get a shower and head to bed. And I'll show you guys what I do tomorrow. I'm so thankful to have a long weekend that I can get so much stuff done. Hey guys, so, glare. It is, I don't know, about 2:30, 2:45 or so, and I have my tomato sauce going on the stove. Let's see if you can see that. I have 2 pots of it going, and I have my other pots coming up, my canner on the stove. I'm just going to water bath can, but I'm using my pressure canner just because it fits on the burner a little better. Sorry, my hair is falling down. So I am working on that right now. I already have some grapes in the dehydrator. You can hear my washer going. Let me pull this door because it's just going to get louder. We have an appliance repair company, and yet I always have a noisy washer. So hold on. Okay, that's better. And now I am getting the tomato peels that I had run through the food mill onto trays, and those are going into the dehydrator. And then when they're dry, I'll turn them into tomato powder to put on top of bread or baked potatoes, anything I want to put a little bit of garnish on top of. Mugsy, stop. And it also can go into soups, it can thicken things. So I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, if you can see this, I am just taking blobs of it that I had pressed out, and I am just kind of pressing it onto, I don't want to press it too hard down into the screen, because then I'm going to have to try and scrub it out. So I just kind of want to cover all the edges of the screen to make use of each screen with and not make it too thick of a layer. And then I will get this is my dehydrator right here, and so I'm gonna get this one. Macy, I swear, I turn the camera on and the dogs decide now it is time to start playing. So I have all of my screens here, and I'm just going to keep adding until this is full. And the tomatoes will probably be ready in the morning. The raisins, the grapes that I'm turning into raisins, I don't know if other people do this or not, but sometimes you just have like a little bit left in a bag of raisins that start to get pruny, or you have that container that gets pushed to the bottom, the back of the refrigerator in the drawer. Because I tend to wash them and put them in a colander and then put them in a drawer. And sometimes, people just forget about them. And so when I see my grapes start to get pruny, I don't toss them. I keep them in the fridge until I have other things that I want to put in the dehydrator, because I won't run the whole dehydrator just for one tray. But for something like this, I decided, you know what, I have those grapes in there, so I'll just add those in. Same thing with apples. If you have some apples that are starting to get a little pruny looking, just toss them in the dehydrator. You can always cook them if you want, but if you want to preserve them, just toss them in the dehydrator. So that's what I do. So I'm going to finish filling these up and get them going. Okay guys, I am getting ready to start canning up my first batch of tomato sauce. I'm just going to put my lemon juice in. Sometimes I put salt in. Lately I have not been putting salt in, just because I usually season up my tomato sauce with whatever I'm cooking. Let me think. Do I need one or I need two of these? I had to stop and think. I'm doing quarts, so I need two. So, oops. All right. I could have probably cooked this down a little bit more, but honestly, I just kind of want to get it done. Chris is on his way home. Jaden just left on his way to work, and I have both washers going. I have the dryer going. As soon as I'm finished canning, I'll have the dishwasher going, and I want the house all nice and clean when Chris walks in, so he can come home and relax, because he has been busting butt this weekend. I think we're just going to do chili tonight. I had plenty left over from last night, So I think we're just gonna do chili and cornbread tonight for dinner with a salad. All right, I'm gonna keep filling and we'll see how much we end up with at the end. Hey guys, I just wanted to show you what I ended up with. These guys are getting ready to go back into the canner. These are out, so I have 7 quarts here, and then I have 4 more that are complete and a half. So I'm just gonna put this one in the refrigerator. I'm gonna let it cool down some first before I put it in the fridge. So it looks like I ended up with what, 11? So not too bad from 2 cases of tomato, and then I still have my 2 pots on the stove of tomato preserves, but there were only, I don't know, 15 to 20 tomatoes in that, so the vast majority of them were here, and then I think I pulled out 5 or 6 tomatoes that were just in really good shape that are going to be good sandwich and salad tomatoes for the week. So I'm going to go ahead and get these guys in the canner, and it's set. I just checked the map. Chris is less than an hour away, so I am doing my run through tidy of the last hour so the house is nice and clean and smells good when he walks in the door and not too messy, covered in all kinds of canning stuff and all that. So I want to try and get the kitchen cleaned up. It's not too bad. I've been doing dishes as I go. I'll start the dishwasher in just a couple minutes and the dehydrator's going, but I just want it nice and neat and clean when he walks in the door, so I better hustle. Hey guys, this is what we're doing for dinner. I have chili and cornbread with an apple, and we're just gonna call it good. Go sit in front of the fire, watch a little bit of television, and enjoy our evening. All right guys, hope you're having a great night.